My name is Miles Davis, and yes, that is my real name. My mom's maiden name is Miles, so it worked out well. Obviously don't do the music thing, do the art thing. I was raised in the military. My parents were divorced, so I did a lot of moving around when I was a child. The longest place I've ever lived is actually now Atlanta. I've been here almost working on 5-6 years on the suburbs and, of course, in downtown. Lived in California, been to Hawaii, New Jersey, Florida, so mostly coastal areas. In doing that, a lot of my traveling, I did a lot of video games and comic books and the internet, of course, like a lot of kids of my generation. And that helps influence my work a little bit. So, to answer most of the questions.
Yeah. Where do you, how long you been, what kind of materials do you use? What kind of artist are you? What kind of artist?
Well, I guess if I was to categorize my artwork, it's surrealistic, obviously, kind of a pop surrealism, if you're into the whole especially in the West Coast culture, but like Juxtapoz magazine and High Fructose. If I had to classify it, I guess that'd be kind of the realm in which my artwork would probably be shoved into. A lot of materials I've used, honestly, are going to be stuff like do some mild collage, do a lot of splatter techniques and watermarks, things like that. I do use acrylics. But mild mixed media, but mostly acrylics. And this is a piece that I finished up a few months ago, honestly, but I'm trying to push myself more in a collage direction and multiple canvas pieces. So that's interesting to see where that's going to take me. So yeah, that's about it, really.
What do you call that piece?
This piece is called Above the Burden, and it's more or less dealing with sometimes you have to believe in yourself or have faith in what you're doing, regardless of any kind of opposition. And during that, you have to faith appear in your own language. And doing the spiritual iconography, you're kind of dealing with like the chakras if you're into meditation and all that over the heart here. And you got the flames over the head there, and of course the halo is kind of hanging him, kind of choking him out, so to speak. It's got the barbed wire, kind of like the crown of thorns type deal, dealing with your sacrifice. And of course the burden, of course, is dragging him down. He's kind of sunk in the ground. He's part of the world, so to speak. So trying to transcend, sometimes that's stretching stretching in both directions. So that's kind of what this piece is dealing with,
So what inspires you in your art? You said video games, and what else? But what got you going into the art, to drawing or painting, or what you do? What got you in?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I said video games, not in the sense that I play them. It's the video games that I used to play are probably like the first Nintendo games, things like that. But my brothers got so good at them, they kept kicking my ass. So I had to, I just sat there and used to draw. And literally I was like 6-7 years old, and I was starting to draw like Mario Brothers and things like that. It was in the comic books. Wolverine was my favorite.
Okay.
And from there, my childhood between my parents, who were divorced. Like from Hawaii to Alabama and things like that, that's like a 15-20-hour flight. I would draw the entire way almost. I read art magazines and things.
That's a whole very different cultures too, ain't it?
Yeah. Very much
Hawaii to Alabama?
Yeah, very much so. And New Jersey and Alabama for that. I moved to New Jersey from Hawaii. So I showed up with the tan. I even had a rat tail. You can hit that if you want to. I even had a rat tail in Hawaii because it was the thing out there when I was there anyway. And when I came to New Jersey, I was all tan and all of a sudden thigh-deep snow. So, yeah, it was definitely a culture shock a lot of times whenever I went. But it kept me company. My drawing did. Sketchbooks, comic books, things like that kept me company.
Okay. Did you go to school, or you just learned it on your own?
Most of the stuff I did learn on my own. The technical stuff, doing portraits, design work, things like that. That stuff I kind of learned on my own, kind of feeling my way through it growing up. I never stopped drawing and painting since I was about 5 years old. It's consistently been doing it since. I did go to Auburn. Wanted to go to SCAD, too expensive. I was in Alabama at the time, and out of state was just astronomical, tuition was. So ended up doing Auburn. And then I moved to Atlanta just because Atlanta was the closest big city. And for marketing reasons, more people, right? So
you took art classes at Auburn?
I did. I was a painting major. Yeah, I wish I'd taken more business classes, though, honestly, on the back end, right? But it's worked out well so far, so I can't complain.
Are there any special projects that you're working on at the moment?
Always special projects. We have a big show coming up in September. We're financing it ourselves with another great artist from Miami named Kawhi Lawrenson. He does a lot of like Justin Bieber type stuff. He's very, very talented. But we're both doing a show the last weekend of September.
Where?
In Castleberry Hills at the Granite Room.
Okay.
So we're really looking forward to that. We got all kinds of ideas for products. We have a thing called Nice Ass Cards. So we're doing greeting cards. We're trying to get in on more of a mass marketing thing with some of our projects to help some residual income coming for our business. So yeah.
Okay. Is that piece part of a series, or is it one of? Is it just by itself?
Yes and no. In recent, I don't know, whoever looks at this video obviously might be reading Juxtapose magazine or High Fructose, things like that. If they are, they definitely know that there's a lot of cartooning aesthetics that are going into those type of genres at this point. I like doing cartoony stuff like this, and I enjoy doing it, but sometimes I do try to push myself in a more minimal. I've come to kind of call it minimal surrealism, where I do more silhouettes and things like that, as opposed to doing actual shadows and flesh tones and things. But to answer your question, in the long run, yes, this is kind of part of the series. I have done a lot of cartooning stuff, so it's enjoyable. But I don't concentrate just on one series at a time. I try to do 2 or 3 pieces that are similar, and then I'll move to the next type of idea or what have you.
Okay. So do you have a website where people can see more of your stuff?
Yeah, right here. MasterBurnStudios.com. My girlfriend over here, we did this together. So we have MasterBurnStudios.com. We have Master Burn Studios, or Master Burn Shop, which has a lot of our merchandise and prints and stuff on there as well. So yeah.
And
check it out.
You on Facebook and on MySpace, or?
Yes, of course. Just for marketing reasons, you know. I mean, the website, of course, is much more in depth, and it offers a much wider selection of what I do, along with the Master Burn Shop. But yeah, MySpace and Facebook are just more for meeting people and networking and things like that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Dan.
Peace.